んでもカオスウッドストック1999。
Good God.
Oh my lord.
Is this from Bosnia?
Look at this.
Just lit up. Oh boy.
At that time, I was 26 years old. I was a rookie journalist covering this high-profile festival. I was spending a lot of time in the press compound, reporting back to New York City. And it was a lot of fun. Until this happened. And I'm looking around at all of this damage, carnage, if you will, and I'm thinking, how the fuck did this happen?
Woodstock 99, baby, yeah!
It was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it.
It was a history-making moment. Like, I can't believe I'm part of this.
It really felt like it was flower power and love and music and coming together in harmony.
There was not a doubt in my mind. This was going to be an experience of a lifetime.
In the beginning, everyone was happy, the music was good.
And of course, everyone just high as balls.
There was this ominous feeling. There was no control.
This was not a walk in the park. We completely underestimated this.
It was like this perfect storm had started to form. These kids were getting pissed off.
Things were just getting out of control. Holy shit. Some very, very bad things could happen.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Kerosene, match, boom.
Holy shit, what the fuck? It's like a scene where zombies are coming over the castle walls.
Spiral deeper and deeper into like the worst demons of human nature.
This is just fucking, I don't know, Lord of the Flies, man, I guess.
There is no other way to describe it. It became a total and complete train wreck.
Oh my God.
The Woodstock Music and Art Fair, the 3-day exposition at White Lake and Bethel, New York, will give you uncomplicated, unhurried, calm days of peace and music. There are over 600 acres to roam, bazaars to browse. Heavy traffic is anticipated, so be early to arrive on time.
Came upon a child of God. He was walking along the road. When I asked him,
Woodstock is basically the original counterculture music festival, right? I mean, it's basically that, and maybe the moon landing is what you think of first when you think of the 60s.
It was the ultimate gathering of the best musicians during the best era of music.
we are stardust, we are golden.
Woodstock's one of those events that's just part of culture and part of your DNA.
Oh boy, I've never seen anything like this, man.
So this whole Woodstock story really begins with one man, Michael Lang.
Are you in charge of the whole thing?
Woodstock was amazing. I hate to use vibes, but there was amazing vibes in the valley. Obviously, the Vietnam War was a big thing. We were so against it.
人天気時代東京機械と
Are you gonna do another one? For what?
2社しかない。
You know, for years I didn't
これ
want
が
to
潰れ
fight
た
it.
ら終わる。
I mean, I never thought we could have the same impact of peace and love and flower power. But in the 90s, I started thinking about Woodstock for my kids' generation. They were teenagers at the time, when gun violence became an issue for all of us.
Two teenagers went on a 5-hour rampage inside Columbine High School, killing 12 fellow students and a teacher, and wounding some 30 other people.
The idea was to engage people in the issue and to give that generation an idea of what Woodstock was about, which is counterculture, no violence, just peace and love. And music. That was it. You know, let's do it.
Experience Woodstock 99. 3 days, over 40 of today's top bands, and 250,000 people. Woodstock 99. The trip of your life.
At the time, Keith and I, when we were only 16.
Love you, Mom.
I've never been to a concert before. Whoa, I was like, Cohen's gonna be there, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine. I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta go.
Tom said, you want to go to Woodstock? Hell yeah, I want to go to Woodstock.
Woo, ticket. When I got my Woodstock ticket in my hand, finally I felt on top of the world. Like, wow, this is gonna be probably the best time of my life. We're going to see girls our own age and talk to them and possibly have sex. I
I was very lucky that my parents didn't know anything about it. I grew up in a very conservative Christian home, so I was not allowed to watch MTV. So it was kind of a rebellious move to actually have a ticket to Woodstock. My parents knew about 1969, Peace and Love. And they're like, well, that's a great opportunity for a kid, you know, just finding music and harmony. My hope was to get as fucked up as possible. So that summer of '99, we were doing Isle of MTV, and that was in Nassau, Bahamas, Paradise Island. You're going to get to see some of the famous faces. I got to hang out with you on Isle of MTV. Lots of cool people. As you see that MTV said, we're going to send you back to New York for Woodstock '99. And I was like, back to New York? I'm in the Bahamas. I want to go back to New York. But it was going to be the biggest party on the planet. 250,000 young people for 3 days of incredible music and non-stop partying. This was massive.
I was 14. It was my freshman year in high school. And, you know, I was kind of a tomboy. I had like a bandana on my head. I had a full mouth of braces, right? Like I was young. I was a virgin and then some. I've been to concerts before, but never like an overnight, never like a festival of this scale. It was huge.
Ladies and gentlemen, open your bags and speed up the process. Security went through my entire bag. Any food was taken from us, any drinks were taken from us.
Most of the people that came, they took their water, which is so ridiculous because it's freaking water.
Obviously, seeing footage from like '69 and Peace and Love, I was picturing like a big open field, kind of undulating hills, almost like Lord of the Rings, like Hobbit type stuff. And you know, we get there and I'm like, oh shit, this is a base.
Ooh, this is some shit.
Like now I'm wondering, like Men in Black gonna come out? Like, is there like a UFO in the hangar? I mean, like, what am I walking into here? I mean, it literally couldn't be any further away from the original Woodstock. What the hell happened?
So the elements that you need if you want to put on a festival of this kind of scope and size are many, tens of millions of dollars. A facility that can house that kind of event and a powerful partner. And at that time, one of the biggest players was John Scherer from Metropolitan Entertainment.
You know, I was a pretty successful promoted a lot of big shows, the Rolling Stones, the Grateful Dead, and the Who. There's never been an event, ever, all right, in the history of the music business that's cost anything like this.
John Scherer is a very feisty guy, very tough, and to me, the right kind of partner.
So I started discussing it with my team.
When I first learned of 1999, I burst out laughing. Oh, come on, you know, what is it, April Fool's Day? You know, like, surely we're not going to do that again. We had tried to revive Woodstock in 1994.
94 Woodstock had its problems.
How things going? Things are going well, except it started raining a little bit.
It poured rain. The fences came down. Pushed down the fences and joined the party. At least half of the total audience got in for free.
It's not a free concert, it's a paid concert.
The music was absolutely amazing, but it didn't make any money.
And then along comes Woodstock.
BBC は iPlayer っていうでこの
I mean,
iPlayer
you absolutely had to make
BBC
profit.
プラスとかでまさに Apple の
Michael had found the decommissioned 350-acre Air Force Base.
BBC ラジオとか
And you thought that meant they could make money.
有料課金
They had housing for 15,000 people, they had all the roads, they had security, they had a hospital, they had all the stuff that we had spent millions of dollars to build
ちゃんと
in
BBC だか
'94.
ら
John got totally enthused and energized about doing it again.
Quite honestly, I thought that, you know, it would make a lot of profit. And I think everybody was excited.
Everyone said, no fucking way, that's a bad idea. But John then stepped in to overrule the entire board and saying, well, I'm the CEO, we're doing this. So we were left with doing Woodstock again.
History is going to repeat itself, this time at Griffiths Air Force Base in Rome.
I know that what we're going to bring to this area is going to be the greatest show that anybody has ever experienced.
This wasn't as tough a decision for me. Like a lot of people think, well, why would you put everything at risk politically? I thought it was a good thing for the community at the time, particularly after what had happened with the closure of the base. So I said, if we could pull this off, this is going to be remarkable.
This will be something that is long remembered in the area. I know for sure that Rome, New York will be known around the world after the summer.
To make sure we could sell the tickets, we booked some of the biggest acts in the world. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sheryl Crow, Korn, Limp Bizkit. So everybody felt, I don't want to exaggerate too much, but that was maybe going to be historical.
I remember we decided we were going to christen the stage in a traditional way, so we got a tie-dye shirt and a champagne bottle.
1, 2, 3.
The
bottle would just not break.
You can do it.
It's gonna go. There it goes.
Looking back on that champagne bottle, I now realize maybe in a lot of ways it was foreshadowing.
Holy shit. Let's get ready to have a good time, have fun, party, and go fucking wild!
I was like, wow, like Red Woodstock, like this is happening, like don't pinch me, like I don't want to wake up, like this is awesome.
So James Brown was supposed to book the festival, but I didn't have a signed contract. It's the only act that I didn't have. His agent kept calling me. James was very insistent on getting paid full before he went on for most shows. Mr. Brown's not going on stage unless you give him the rest of the money. Mr. Brown's not going on stage, believe me. You know, you're going to have big trouble here. So I said to him, there's 200,000 people here. They're not going to go home if James doesn't play. I'd love him to play. I'm not giving you any more money. So this guy's screaming at me, said, this is your last chance, either pay him or he's not going on. And I said, do me a favor. Just hold on just a minute. I want you to hear something. 1, 2, 3. I said, go fuck yourself. James realized the moment. He knew this wasn't most shows. This was Woodstock.
It's the biggest party ever. Like, I've never seen this many people.
I was super excited, bouncing off the walls, just headbanging, getting pumped.
Day one, man. Day one.
Time to find some beer.
They had this big beer garden. People had like 3 and 4 beers by like 11 o'clock. I was like, you're probably not even old enough to drink.
Woodstock Beer Garden. Everyone's wasted.
What's up, Woodstock?
It was pretty free spirit for the drugs. People are just selling them out in the open. They're just holding up bags of whatever and shouting out what they have.
I like noticed this dude like hunched over, got a backpack on, and he's like, I got these mushrooms. I'm like, well, I'll try them. I don't know, I've never done it before. And so I'm laying on my back, tripping balls on these mushrooms, and I look up to the sky, I'm like, is that a fucking UFO up there?
I called my mom because she says, call me when you get everything settled and let me know that you're okay. But I had just dropped acid. I'm like, hey mom, this is such a great time. I'm having the best time. And she goes, yeah, what's there? And I go, naked people everywhere. It's so great. And she goes, oh my, what'd you say? And I said, oh, I gotta go. And I clicked.
The nudity, yeah, that was everywhere. There was women with notes on their breasts. Big fat naked dudes. Don't want to see that.
Nudity is definitely unity.
$10, you get the Woodstock 99 airbrush tattoo anywhere you like on your body.
I think that everybody wants to feel a part of something. And seeing so many women get naked and having such a good time was liberating. It was just kind of this free moment for everybody to just be who they wanted to be.
At that point, it reeked of possibility and optimism. And we, as the production crew, were just super excited. I mean, we were young kids in our 20s trying to pull together something extraordinary. It was the end of the millennium, so it just felt like it was going to be this enormous event, and I didn't really care really what I was doing as long as I wasn't cleaning the porta potties.
You see everybody in the back row?
For me, it was like a dream come true. I was working with what seemed to be an unlimited budget, and many of the top people in their field.
It was amazing to be able to work with Michael Lang, the OG organizer of the original Woodstock.
I was Michael Lang's assistant. I just was fascinated about how his mind worked. You know, he's always super calm. There's always this feeling that Michael has it all under control. I wanted to capture my experience, so I brought a video camera and I documented as much as I could.
What are you doing? I was just displaying the site, a la the shopping channel.
This is a picnic area here in front of us.
The first impression I had was, oh my God, there is a lot of asphalt.
It definitely was not what I expected. Here was this military industrial complex that was being converted into a Woodstock site. It was these massive airplane hangars and this incredibly long tarmac landing strip. It didn't really feel like this is Woodstock.
We developed a master plan of the whole site here. We've got about 5,000 acres on the map.
Looking down on the site, kind of looks like a big triangle. On this side of the tarmac is the second stage. Over here was the main stage. Up here was the camping area. And down here was the rave hangar and where like our offices were. And it was pretty much just all tarmac in between this impenetrable 8-mile wall around the entire site so that no one could get in for free. And the whole plan was to like turn it into a Woodstock dreamland.
This is the drone. It's called a lollipop drone.
There were a lot of people coming in with a lot of great ideas.
And it's a communal, interactive event, and it's the kind of things that we need around here, I think.
The plans were just amazing. They had this just beautiful drawings of what they were going to do throughout the whole site. Man, it was like a dream come true.
Because the perimeter wall was going to be profoundly ugly, we decided to create a peace wall so that it could be beautiful. I photographed every inch of it. Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Despite the challenges, we crammed a bunch of amazing things into that festival, from having the Tibetan monks to having the action park, to the movie hangar, to the giant rave hangar.
We had high hopes for being able to integrate some of the original values of 69 into 99. I think that was kind of naive.
So, Sheryl Crow, she was booked for the softer rock people. Cheryl's set was fabulous, but, you know, there were more than a few catcalls. Show us your tits.
Show my tits. You have to pay way more than you paid to get in to see my tits.
She's a beautiful woman, and these guys thought they'd get lucky or something. But it was completely inappropriate.
And it's a pretty good, what?
Have you made your peace with the mud? Is it okay?
As soon as I'm here, I'm going to haul my ass out there in the middle of that crowd and introduce myself to a couple of them.
It was sort of the very beginning of us saying, there's an element in this crowd that is here for more than just great music.
My God.
Noodles, would you look at all the people out here? All these goddamn kids get drunk and unruly. Are you guys proud of yourselves?
The environment was just very male ego, like beat on your chest, white college dudes with their shirts off screaming, show me your tits.
On that first day, we had the Tibetan monks blessing the event, just providing this sense of peace and calm. But there were these frat boy types destroying the peacefulness of it, who were just there to be dicks.
You know, the 90s, especially the late 90s, were a very different time. We were talking about the Bill Clinton scandal. We're talking about
American Pie was the most successful R-rated comedy that we had ever had. It is brimming with sexuality from a male perspective. Then you have Fight Club with a very interesting take on masculinity, consumerism.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be movie gods and rock stars, but we won't.
But most importantly, violence. It's a good snapshot of where the psychology may have been of a lot of the kids who attended Woodstock 99.
ここもかい。簡単。
デザイン使用料無料。だから印刷とセットで安い。
できた。
毎月増えるテンプレートで。
デザインも。プリントパック。
I want everybody to try to remember it's going to be hot. It's going to be near 90 today. Very important to keep drinking. You try to keep cool.
It was so insanely hot. It was like 100 degrees. So obviously you're dying of thirst. I'm feeling kind of crazy.
it was so hot that you literally needed to drink a gallon of water an hour yourself to stay hydrated. There were definitely fountains there, but there was at least a 25-minute wait because they didn't let us bring anything in. So we went to get just a simple bottle of water. Nobody could afford that water.
Back then, a bottle of water was probably 65 cents, but a Woodstock, a bottle of water was a stupid $4, and it pissed people off.
Is it more expensive than you thought, or?
Big fat ripoff.
Between this and this, it's $9.
And I was like, why the hell is everything so ridiculously expensive?
Hey, lady. Initially, we all felt we were all pulling the same direction in putting together this amazing festival, no matter the cost.
Why don't you just give me a list of the things you need?
What I need is at least $250,000.
But then we all started to get the feeling that corners were being cut.
So sincerely as I possibly be, I really want to thank everybody. I mean, you guys have been unbelievable. You've done a fantastic job. You know, this is an extraordinary experience. There is nothing like this that happens anywhere in the world. That being said, this is a money-making venture, all right?
And that was the moment for me where it stopped becoming about the concert goer or the festival goer experience. It was just cutting budgets. We need to make changes. We're not making profits. Their goal was to make money. And what they ended up doing was selling the food rights. And unfortunately, when they did that deal, the group that ran that for them had complete control over the pricing, and we could do nothing about it. All hopes and dreams of peace, love, and understanding 1969 went out the window.
The underpinning reason of why there was 99 was to make money. So I think absolutely some of the sensibilities fell away for the big, you know, the big payday.
You wanted Woodstock 99!
Rolling forward. I mean, we also wanted to do pay-per-view, so people who weren't there could still participate.
Stay home for the trip of your life on pay-per-view.
There was a package price of $59.95 for all 3 days, and that yielded a lot of money.
My name is Aaron Sadowski. I'm the segment producer with pay-per-view. I was given essentially no rules or limits or definitions. I'm shooting the people who came here to screw, the people who came here to do drugs, and the people who came here to live the life of Woodstock.
Show them some nipple.
So crazy footage is the goal. I would just push the crew and keep coming back with beta tapes full of stuff.
Traditionally, the TV coverage of a festival is all about the music, but the pay-per-view element really turned that on its head. The presence of the pay-per-view cameras encouraged festival goers to show up with increasingly wild behavior. It just became like this crazy human zoo.
I remember the kids on the floor saying, "I'm here for," and the answer was usually corn.
Corn.
I'm here for corn.
At the time, most of the biggest bands, current biggest bands, were hard rock.
Limp Bizkit, Korn, Rage Against the Machine. I mean, this was not the hippy-dippy Woodstock 69 lineup. This music has a lot of rage.
These acts were part of the new metal scene. The aggressiveness of the audience really embodied the rock and roll spirit. We'd seen mosh pits, but now we were talking about mosh pits on a whole nother level. You had no idea how the crowd was possibly going to stay in control.
So a couple days before the festival starts, we're in a meeting, with all the department heads, and the 22-year-old me raises my hand, and I try to bring to everybody's attention that they need to really look at this lineup of artists.
The bands that John booked, at least the more intense bands, were not bands I was familiar with. I had no idea who these people were.
You know, for the most part, although I ran everything by Michael, I never booked an act that he didn't agree with.
So I was the young kid trying to bring some sense to a room full of adults that had really no idea of, I think, the lineup that they put together. And Michael Lang and everyone just looked at me like I should not open my mouth.
In all the shows I've worked, I don't think I have ever seen the intensity of the crowd before a band came on, like I did with Korn. We're all sort of looking at each other saying, holy shit, what is about to happen here?
Atmosphere backstage was just kind of electric. Everybody was excited. I remember going right to my dressing room and looking in the mirror and going, oh my God,
Holy fuck.
this is massive.
Me and Tom are like, we got to get up to the front of this Korn show, and we're getting up there, and then we hear the guitar.
There's that guitar riff that
The song starts to build up, and people are starting to go more crazy and crazy.
I remember the intro rocking out. As I'm walking out, I see that fucking crowd, like, what the flying fuck? When you see it with your own eyes, it's just 10 times more shocking.
He came out and was like,
Are you ready? The crowd went
ballistic. And I look over and I see just waves as the sound traveled all the way to the back.
It was like this unleashing of all this energy.
There's no drug, there's no nothing on this planet that can give you that fucking feeling of having a crowd in your hand like that.
Porn had them whipped up into a frenzy. You kept thinking to yourself, something's gonna go wrong. What is it? When is it? They need to calm down.
I saw things happen that are unexplainable. I mean, an entire section of the crowd just instantly moved about 6 feet to the right.
You can't fall down. Just don't fall down. Like, you're going to be forgotten about.
The number of people just coming over the barricade, it was a waterfall of bodies. We needed way more security than we actually had. It's like the scene from Jaws. I think we need a bigger boat.
Jeff, I understand you actually got knocked in your head getting past, so you're a pretty big guy. Did they drop you?
Yeah.
And you lost your camera?
Yeah.
And would you do it again?
Yeah.
People were breaking their arms and like, we're stuck 99 the greatest.
I felt like I did something really incredible. We kicked that ass.
Hornets just tore up the stage. They were amazing. Bush is next. And that's only a problem because where's all this energy gonna go?
I felt bad for Bush had to go on after that because she was crazy.
Let's hear it for Korn one more time.
I saw the corn set from video monitors. And it was quite scary down there. At least a potential runaway train.
Once a crowd gets that amped up, winding them down is very difficult.
This is like, now show us what you've got. And that makes you nervous. I'm fully aware that half the people maybe were kind of more enamored by watching Korn. You don't know what's going to happen. If you can imagine, like, just jumping off a ship into the darkest ocean. You know, that's it. And when that happens, you've got to change people's emotions. We'd rather more arm in arm than bashing the shit out of each other. Really. That's what we promote. That's what we like, you know?
He was like, peace and love, and I love you, and I love everybody. He was like a heartthrob.
Was everybody happy? Gavin understood the folklore associated with Woodstock. They sort of brought it back to, the hippies versus the hard rock fans.
The crowd was still very lively, but compared to what had just happened, it was a little bit calmer. I'm proud of that fact that we were bringing the crowd back around to what maybe everyone hoped the event to be, as opposed to what it deteriorated into.
I think we need to see a whole hell of a lot more. Woodstock 99 day one pound.
Friday the 23rd was my 29th birthday. I decided to go to the rave hangar with a bunch of our production crew.
I mean, you could fucking feel the energy as you approached the hangar. There was just a crush of 60,000 people. It was kind of like looking into the first ring of hell, if the first ring of hell were fun. It was just unhinged. Everybody in various states of undress and just high as balls. At one point, this cute little hippie chick in fairy wings came up to me. She was like, hey, do you want some ecstasy? And even though I knew that I had to work the next day, I was like, sure, I'm turning 29, let's do this. Everyone was enjoying themselves, but you could feel it. Like, there was no control. Fuck you! There was no one to tell you, hey, you're taking it too far. Yeah, you have hundreds of thousands of people on a site, and most of them are naked. It's an invitation for trouble. It was the train off the tracks. You did not know what was going to happen next. I woke up at 8 a.m. I kind of feel weird, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I take a look in the mirror, and my eyeballs are the size of cue balls. They're just like so dilated, and I realize, holy shit, that ecstasy that I took 4 hours ago is now kicking in, and now I'm in for a ride. I tried to go back to bed for an hour to try and kind of sleep it off, and I was just vibrating like, oh my god, just breathe, you gotta get going. Really? So I strapped on all my gear, my walkie-talkie, and like, okay, let's go, we're going back into the festival. It was just such a surreal thing to walk into. I mean, Friday had been very beautiful, but then today, we're living in filth.
Can we get your reaction this morning on the outhouse facilities? It's just nasty. How nasty? Can I curse on? Oh, feel that.
Oh, the nastiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like going into your bathroom and not flushing it for a whole year and stepping into it. It's disgusting.
We gotta close the door, man. Thanks a lot. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
Saturday was supposed to be the greatest day of the greatest rock festival of the decade. Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock, Fatboy Slim.
Let's go!
But that's not what any of us who were actually there remember it for. Saturday was the day everything started to fall apart.
Hello? The porta potties were just the tip of the iceberg. In the production office, we started hearing tales of multiple breakdowns in the infrastructure around the festival.
We show up Saturday to work security, and we have to walk, probably a good half mile down the runway. It was just almost like a layer of trash that you had to shuffle through to get to the stage. Okay, fine, you're not going to get every piece of trash, but this was literally like they did nothing.
The place was disgusting. Garbage cans were few and far between, it seemed, and overflowing if there were any.
Like all departments, the sanitation department had budget cuts. Trash services and the sewage services were all farmed out. So we're relying on all these subcontractors, and whether it was not having enough people or just like, hey, it's a festival, let's go and have fun. Unfortunately, they did not do their jobs.
Turn my guitar up loud, loud, loud. You are free to throw your plastic bottles when I start this record.
I was up in the tower looking down at the stage, and I could see trash every place. And I said, that is going to be the downfall of Woodstock 99, what you're looking at right there. Because these kids are not going to be happy. We're not taking good enough care of them. They wanted the Woodstock spirit from Woodstock 69. I was 27 at the original Woodstock, and it was one of the most important events of my life. I mean, it was peace and love.
My mom was a huge part of Woodstock 69. She was instrumental in getting all the food for the free kitchens.
To see that many people get along with each other and take care of each other, it changed my life. So I wanted to keep Woodstock 99 beautiful. And I knew that we were looking at a disaster if we left the trash on the ground.
Where's waste management?
So I took it upon myself to get a bunch of trash bags and go out and hand them out.
She didn't know. She didn't know what she was going to get into.
Trash bags for your area! Trash bags for your area! Come on, everybody help out.
One person said to me, I paid $150 to be here. You should clean it up. And I said, well, this is a different kind of Woodstock.
Maybe these kids don't have enough love. Maybe they're acting this way.
in an environment like this and you don't have enough infrastructure to support the number of people that are there, then it starts to cause things to unravel. I mean, if it looks like the venue doesn't care, then why should you care?
Behind the scenes, the producers of this event were disorganized. I mean, there was so much happening on site, and Michael and John, they were not really paying attention to the logistical problems.
We are backstage at Woodstock 99 with what look like very happy dudes. 3 kingpins. You got Ozzy Kilkenny, Michael Lang, John Scher. How's it going? You look all happy. Things must be going very well.
Well, things are going very nicely. We're about halfway through. We were having fun. We had worked a year to plan this, and it was working.
It seems so well organized. It's so well put together.
There is no festival like Woodstock in the world.
Yes, issues existed, but they were isolated. I mean, nobody came thinking they were going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton.
It's been a great success. Everything out there has come true to expectations. And what's most important for everybody, everyone's enjoying it. You don't see anybody out there saying there's anything negative.
It's fucked up, man. They're just sitting there with blinders on, like, hey, it's all good.
How about pleasant surprises? Things you might have not expected to go as well as they did.
Well, I think the weather turned out to work very much in our favor.
Day 1 was hot, but day 2, it was like a furnace. I mean, there was a lot of concrete, hot, beating like Lawrence of Arabia type sun beating down. By now, everybody's getting hyped up for Kid Rock, and it's the hottest part of the hottest day of the year. Kid Rock comes down with his big fur coat. First thing I'm thinking is like, holy shit, he's insane. And he throws it off, it looks like James Brown type stuff. And he just goes, my name is Kid. I was off to the side of the crowd. The band was going crazy and the crowd was going crazy. I mean, it was hot where I was standing and I didn't have anybody standing next to me, so I can only imagine the temperature within the pit. It must have been the fucking toaster oven.
I was assigned to a tent that was right next to the stage. The sun was burning. And the humidity and the heat was so high that standing still, you would just literally be drenched in your own perspiration. People were being brought out who were unconscious through the heat stroke, and the skin was literally dry to the touch.
You see how hot it is, folks? Look at his face. You can just see how hot it is. I can't feel my legs anymore.
More than 1,000 people have been treated for heat exhaustion and dehydration at the Woodstock 99 Music Festival in upstate New York.
This was not a walk in the park. I completely underestimated this event. I said to myself, we're fucked. We're fucked.
People were trying desperately to find shade wherever they could. It was like the scarcest thing on the planet, and people were seeking it out everywhere.
There was really no place for you to get out of this situation. Okay, they hadn't provided it. What does that say about the producers to a kid who's coming and paying their money and wanting to have this wonderful Woodstock experience? Okay, and say they don't give a fuck about you.
This little octagon here will get me a lot of places here at Woodstock 99. Right behind me, past those heavily fortified gates you see. That's the artist compound.
Backstage, the atmosphere was great. We had tons and tons of dressing room trailers that were well appointed. We had chefs, and at one point we had a big barbecue going. The acts got treated great.
How are you?
I arrived on the Saturday in a stretch limo. I remember there was a really big thing that we all had to sign. It sort of felt a little bit more like walking down a red carpet at an awards ceremony than arriving at a festival. Everything was sponsored out of his mind.
Guys, giving away comfort here if you want to go collect some stuff.
Absolutely. You guys are cool to hook us up. Peace and love equals capitalistic venture. There you go. Let's call a spade a spade. Come on.
Yeah, it didn't have that peace and love, and we're all in this together since the community. We were really spoiled at Woodstock, but you went over that wall, and it's 100 degrees. They're standing on tarmac. They're paying like $8 for a burrito, and the kids are just getting gouged left and right. And come Saturday, they were pissed. And that was when they...
いやいや、そんなホルムズ海峡だからね、手数料も取られちゃうから。
started to throw stuff at us for the first time. Suddenly, concert goers were taking aim at us, at MTV.
People are now throwing hats and other things.
They knew that we were live on air. They were fucking with us.
Awesome. This right here is Woodstock 99 at its finest.
You would hear a
a handful of change or a battery, you know, kind of like ricochet off the set. I have to be looking at the talent. I can't be looking at the crowd to see a rock that's coming at my head. It was like really, it was terrifying. We're starting to feel like a target. Like we represented something to them that they resented.
I'm sick of Backstreet Boys on MTV Live. I'm sick of that. You know, it's fucking bullshit. Don't hold back on me. I'm not holding back. I hate that shit.
There you go.
Please welcome the Backstreet Boys.
In the late 90s, MTV was the embodiment of what the music industry became from Woodstock 69 to Woodstock 99. It was no longer about revolution. It was more about, buy my t-shirt.
You're not tired. Stay the same. You better go pick it up.
To the rock fan, MTV VJs do not seem like one of them. I mean, they were the face of this corporate monolith that was bastardizing their music.
You guys are selling out, or corporate's trying to come in and ruin our fun. We just want to be free. Suck a fucking dick.
I don't know if it was just a generational shift in youth culture, but they were gone.
People were mad. This guy came up behind me and tried to burn my ass with a cigar. And there's not enough security here to stop it. Honestly, there was not enough security for 23,000 people.
これ買いたい。いいね。お迎えしちゃう？でもどうしよう。ならメルカードがあるじゃん。メルカリの売上金が支払いに当てられちゃうんだよね。売上金で？はい、せーの。好きを楽しむ。メルカード最大99%オフ。
Security at Woodstock 99 was kind of a joke. It was like, you know, kids with yellow t-shirts.
In 1999, I was still 18 at that point. I ran graffiti, chasing after girls, nightclubs, and all the festivities that came along with it. This guy said, hey, I need to sign people up for security detail for Woodstock 99. We'll be paying you $500 to come. You know, it's pretty much sign this form and your security. We almost had to take a look behind our shoulders twice and go, us? Really? You know, you sure?
We didn't want anybody uniformed or anybody carrying a gun. We didn't want the influences of the government or of the police state or whatever. So the security that we hired, they were not armed. They were peace patrol.
What's Woodstock mean to you guys? For me, it's money and sex and bitches too. Wow, man, these guys have really captured the spirit of Woodstock.
We met people from local neighborhoods in Brooklyn that we knew. And I was like, who has a joint? Let's smoke. None of these people were doing what they were supposed to from day one. At some point, someone approached me and asked, what did that t-shirt do for me? So, being an opportunist, I said, this t-shirt does anything you want. Knowing it didn't do that. Oh, does it get me backstage? Yeah, it gets you backstage. You want to sell it? $400. I'll take it. I have another shirt in my bag. It was laughable. You know, like, look at this. What a joke this is. We can see how this is going to go.
By midway through the festival, a lot of the crowd realized they could do whatever they wanted without fear of repercussions or consequences.
Nice butterfly.
Thank you very much.
I started seeing large groups of dudes hanging out, surrounding women, chanting in their faces to take off their bikini tops.
Mob psychology is getting maybe a little dangerous here. Hey guys, back, give us some room. You're getting scary here. Come on, please. She'll suffocate.
One young woman just body surfed over the crowd. And I said, how was it? I'm thinking it was great. She's body surfing. And she goes, well, I hate all men now.
There's the people that are legit trying to carry you and actually move you along like they're supposed to be, but there's equally as many dudes like grabbing your boob and, like getting a squeeze on your butt as they're passing you along. And, I was young, I was 14. Like I had never had those kind of hands, in those places.
I think from Saturday on, I heard some reports that the women were pushed around, but there were a lot of women who voluntarily had their tops off, and then you get into a mosh pit and you get crowd surfed. Could somebody have touched their breasts? Yes, I'm sure they did. What could I have done about it? I'm not sure I could have done anything.
Looking back on it, it's sad that in the 90s, those things were just kind of the way that it was and it was accepted. The whole weekend, there was a lack of respect. Lack of respect from the promoters to us. Lack of respect from the attendees to the grounds. Lack of respect of men to women. So there was a lot of anger and hostility building up. It was like the wildest thing.
We got Limp Bizkit tonight. Best of luck to everyone here for no serious injuries tonight. Although, I don't know, I hope they stocked up on their stretchers and their bandages.
I was a huge fan of Limp Bizkit, and we were super excited to see them.
I think we're happy to see Limp Bizkit here.
At that moment, they were one of the biggest bands in the world.
So you're going to be able to tear things up tonight, drive them nuts, just go wild?
This was really their moment. And to me, Limp Bizkit were the biggest draw in terms of why the young people were making this pilgrimage to the middle of New York.
The fans of Limp Bizkit did not come from any elitist groups. This was your average rock band. and they were champions to the underdogs of the world.
Their big song was Nookie, and if I need to get pumped, absolutely I rock out to that.
Nookie took over the summer, and everybody was constantly singing.
Fred Durst wasn't like a famous rock star. He was like one of us. He wore DC shirts. He wore a baseball hat backwards, and you could relate to him so much.
I loved how just they didn't give a fuck, period.
See you in jail.
He was just like the ringleader. He'd always just he would get people to do the craziest shit.
洗脳されてんだね。わかんないんだよ。
We're at the barricade, right? After what we had been through with Korn the night before, there was a little bit of like apprehension. Okay, now people might be on day 2 of their multi-day no-sleep bender. Lots more drugs, lots more alcohol. What's coming up?
The one, the only, Limp Bizkit!
When you walk out on stage and 250,000 people are looking back at you, and you can go like this, and it's like you're an orchestra conductor.
You ready to get this motherfuckers on?
And they are your orchestra. And that's what Fred did. Like, he was out there just moving them.
The mosh pit was just like nothing I've ever seen before. As a hungry young reporter, I saw this as being a really great opportunity. There's not another reporter here that's going to venture into that mosh pit. I am going in. I am in this pit, speaking into my microphone, pushing people off of me, ducking out of the way. The crowd was like undulating. They were almost one organism.
Bunch of crazy motherfuckers out there.
I think when you look at the tension that had been building up with the crowd, it was a hand grenade.
This shit looks fucking insane.
During break stop is when that hand grenade actually exploded.
Let me ask you a personal question.
There's this little preamble. How many people like in sync? And then you hear boom.
How many people here ever woke up one morning and just decided it wasn't one of those days and you're gonna break some shit?
Well, this is one of them days, y'all, where everything's fucked.
Everything's fucked up.
And you just want to break some shit.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
You could see Fred Durst, id, ego, and super ego battling it out on stage. You see the look on his face like, holy shit. You have a super ego. All right, calm down, Fred. Just be good. Don't do anything crazy. But then you have the id going, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Time to reach deep down inside.
Take all that negative energy.
Then let that shit out of your fucking system. You got girl problems. You got boy problems. You got parent problems. You got boss problems. You got job problems.
It was kind of like Fred understood what we were all going through and spoke to each person in that crowd at that moment.
You feel me? What's up?
Then he has to add, now when this song kicks in, I want you to fucking kick in. And that's it. Kerosene, match, boom. It went from, oh, we're having a nice day. Oh, we're gonna fucking destroy shit. We're gonna go crazy. They're diving all over each other, and people get trampled, bloody heads. I mean, this is like triage. It's like warfare.
So I'm standing on the barricade there to try to protect the stage when it flashed into my head that my good friend Chris was out at the sound tower.
So at that point, I was working the sound tower and sort of feeling all those people around us. It was definitely intimidating. We were, I don't know, 10 guys on an island, right? We're just surrounded by a crowd that's completely off the rails. So the sound guys, they had actually hung a sign out there that basically said, the Alamo on it. You start noticing people start banging against the plywood planks. Then the next thing you know, that you start getting some hands on top. Then you start seeing heads, people sort of pushing each other up. That's when my heart rate started pumping. I mean, it was scary.
It's like a scene where zombies are coming over the castle walls.
People were rocking back and forth, and there was plywood, and they're trying to rip it off. I was like, holy shit. You could see the soundstage is like shaking.
At that point, it was like a mayday. I don't know. It was like an SOS went out from the sound tower guys.
I
and many of the other security guards jumped over the barricade to try to get to them to help them. Those guys from the barricade came, they saw us, they said, listen guys, let's go, we're evacuating. And then, we just hauled ass. I don't have much of a memory of this other than just diving over the barricade as the sea sort of swallowed us up behind me.
I watched it from the side of the stage. Fred was riling up the crowd, and I saw it get increasingly rambunctious and then out of hand.
You know what? It would probably be a lot easier if they just showed us their penis and it was over with it. I feel like we're watching a documentary on the Discovery Channel or something. Let's just hope that some of them get hit between the legs and they don't breathe.
It was fun at first, and then it turned out to be like, I gotta get out of here. I'm like not having fun no more. I really thought like I was gonna die there at one point. Like my mom's gonna see me on the news dead at Woodstock.
I saw a girl get hit in the head with a glass bottle. Security, to their credit, they grab her and they bring her out. I follow them into the medical area. And what I saw was incredibly frightening and shocking. I saw blood on the ground. I saw somebody getting staples in their head. I saw people getting IVs. Somebody looked like they had a broken leg. I saw several people just laying on cots, their bodies almost looked lifeless.
I was treating 6-7 patients at a time. It took everything from us, our equipment, our materials, our supplies. Everything was gone. I said to myself, oh man, I'm done. I want to go home. I'm quitting.
Fred Durst wasn't trying to get them to stop. He was joining in. He got up on one board and he was actually trying to crowd surf himself. He's gyrating like Jack Sparrow with fleas, you know, he's just like, and I'm like, what is he doing?
I'd never pulled the plug in my life for any act ever.
Woodstock 1999!
I went over to the production manager and said, Fred, end of set.
Let's chill, catch our breath. There's hurt people here and they're your brothers and sisters.
Limp Bizkit has gone off stage. Fred, have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
I can tell you, I've never done anything like that in my life.
How scary was it for you up there when they started ripping that place apart? They started taking the plywood off the towers and stuff.
God. Dude, it's not our fault. That's all I can say. It was amazing, man. It was fat.
I didn't take into account what a jerk Fred Durst is. He was enjoying it. Fred could have quieted him down in a minute, but instead he was riling up the crowd.
Pointing the finger at Fred is about the last thing anybody should do. There really isn't a way to control 300,000 people. The best thing he could do is put on the best show possible, and that's what he did.
I don't think you can blame Limp Bizkit for being Limp Bizkit. It's like blaming a bear for being a bear. I mean, you know, Limp Bizkit is what it is.
Saturday night was the first time I really felt unsafe. It felt like we were building up to something serious happening. And then the only question became like, what, when, where? I mean, there was really only one place you could go to keep the party going, right? And that was the rave hangar.
There was this ominous feeling. I kept hearing how fans had been tearing walls apart. Now all of these people were coming to my facility to spend the evening with me. I'm talking tens of thousands of people. And for every person you had inside the building, you had 4 people that went outside the building. So you can just imagine in your mind how dangerous of a situation this was.
Let's go, let's go.
The headlining act was Fatboy Slim.
I'd been closeted in my dressing room all afternoon with people just going,
Oh, it's a bit chaotic out there. But no one had told me that there'd been any damage, that there'd been any violence.
walking up on stage, all I could think of is, this is a big moment, try and keep the energy up to match that of the crowd. Starting with Fatboy Slim's Fucking in Heaven was kind of a bold statement. Just to grab everyone's attention.
One minute everyone's standing around waiting for something to happen, the next minute everyone's in the air.
I like chaos, and I like being at the heart of chaos, and there was definitely chaos.
At Woodstock 99, the rave probably established what the reality was of the audience and what the real desires were. People were just out of control. You know, dancing their asses off, walking around like zombies. I remember seeing people banging their heads on the floor until they were bleeding because of whatever hallucinogenic or narcotics they were on. You've openly seen people walk around and just sort of hand out hits of ecstasy.
I remember shining my flashlight into the corners, literally seeing people on all fours having sex. Totally pagan experience.
I saw from the stage, on one wall of the hangar, several naked people lined up with their hands up against the wall and a line of people behind them. What were they doing? Which biblical word would you like for it?
there were no rules. You know, laws, security didn't mean much.
Now, this is the point in your documentary where the low drone comes in and it's like, at this point, things started going wrong.
I remember hearing someone say, "Oh fuck, what is that?" And I remember looking out of the office window and seeing what looked like a couple of lights that were making its way into the rave. And I knew we had a problem.
They commandeered a vehicle. We gotta stop this. This is massively dangerous.
So I became aware of what I thought was a kind of sort of floating dance platform, like a podium, with about 20 or 30 people on it, which turned out to be a van.
We made our way down to the floor, and we literally met the vehicle as it got halfway into the building.
Holy shit! And then I started getting taps on the shoulder. And it's like, we've got something music, the fan's got to go. Oh, not tonight. You know, this is Woodstock, this is all, it was all going so well. And people started throwing things at him and at me.
ゲイ雑誌じゃなくてロック系の
Everything started to look a little less fun.
Fucking
well, shambles.
I came up on the passenger side of the van, and I could see a guy was driving, and you could just see his eyes that were glazed. He really wasn't present. I remember somebody screaming that there was a weapon. It was one of those old rusty machetes. So I went for the side door, slid the door open, it just opened, and the first thing I saw was a girl that looked maybe 15 or 16 years old, who was literally had her shirt over her breasts and her pants were down her ankles. She was passed out, and there was a guy in the back with her who was literally putting his shorts back on. I was floored. It just took the life out of me. The stagehand took her straight through the backstage, and she went away to an ambulance. I'm not sure what happened to the guy in the back of the van, but we just tried to put the van in neutral and get it out of the rave. Everybody was oblivious to what had just happened.
That's just hideous to think that in the midst of all those people having fun and me wanting to make everybody love each other, that was going on literally under our noses. All my crew and the people from the record company, they're properly rattled. I could see in their eyes they weren't being overdramatic. Shit's kicking off, and it's kind of not safe. There's a car just over there. Don't worry about your records. We'll take your records. You just get in that car. We need to get out of here. There's just adrenaline coming out of my ears. I did it exactly as I was told and ran. We drove straight to an airport and slept at the airport until our flight the next day.
Seeing that girl in the van, that was a byproduct of what was allowed to play out the entire time we were there. Supposed to be Woodstock. I think by that time we all realized it wasn't Woodstock. It was, what it was. It was just chaos.
It is really out of control now. Now it's dangerous, and that's scary. Saturday night is when all hell really broke loose. Shit got crazy, and so, here comes Sunday.
We are going to get out of here. I think we're going to go.
本当雑誌の記憶は本当になくなっちゃってるよね。いや本当に消えちゃってる。やっぱブログとかもどんどん消されてるからさ。FC2 ブログとか結構ね、割と編集者とか持ったからみんな消えちゃったからさ。やっぱメモとか取っとかないと本当に消えるで、ネット消えていいとはなんないよね。
Woodstock 99 wrapping up today. 250,000 sweaty, sunburned folks, and they're all battling the elements.
Welcome to day 3 of Woodstock 99. We had a satisfying and eventful day yesterday. I know you've got a lot of questions.
Last night, fans started to break off pieces of a production tower. Woodstock officials are actually downplaying that mess, but I can tell you that many people were treated for injuries.
Woodstock 99 was coming to an end, and the press conference on Sunday morning is where it got most testy.
John, where were you during Limp Bizkit's set?
What sort of setup do you have for accountability?
How many security guards do you have on site? We had about 200,000 kids on that field last night. Having a great time.
John Scher was trying to paint this rosy picture of what was happening on the ground. When he went out there, he knew that he needed to control the narrative.
We had some amazing music. You've got these knuckleheads, maybe 50 of them, causing me trouble. So let's try to focus on the positiveness, the overwhelming positiveness.
But the press had now seen enough to know that things were going wrong.
I saw everything that was going on. I had a bird's eye view, and it was violent, it was dangerous, it was hostile, and there was a sea of kids causing trouble.
There were people being mistreated. There were people getting maimed. They were glossing over all of that. And it was only going to get worse.
Sunday, day 3, final day. Oh gosh. Walking back onto site was like waking up from a drunken night in bed with a total stranger who's unattractive. You're like, what the hell have I just done?
How sweet the sound that saved our wretch.
てか思い出作りと北の国から裏のフジテレビの戦後を代表するドラマで思い出作りも超面白い。
People I encountered on Sunday just seemed exhausted and burned out.
Let's just share this moment with them.
By Sunday, it was like a refugee camp. I mean, it looked like what you would see on the news with just tent city garbage, and
it was disgusting.
It smelled so bad, and there's like nowhere to wash off because by that point, the shower station line was so freaking long, people just got mad enough, but they smashed the pipes. So it was just like this river, a mix of the showers and the nasty runoff from the porta potties. Most people didn't realize it was shit mud. We were supposed to have places to refill our water bottles, but either the water was gross and running brown or they were broken.
Turn on the water! So all the water out of the faucets is
like tinted. I wouldn't say it's brown, that's exaggeration, but it's kind of tinted.
My job in the health department was making sure that our water supplies are safe for the public. As the event was going on, we went out and took samples of drinking water from around the site that we submitted to the lab. Sunday morning, I went up to the lab. We opened up the door to the incubator. The smell nearly knocked you over. They looked at the samples. Most all of them were contaminated.
Any free drinking water that had been available was soiled from feces.
The thought that people are out there drinking this, exposing themselves, bathing in this stuff, it was like the worst nightmare.
So I wake up Sunday morning, I have a very sore throat, cold sores all over my lips. I had ulcers all over my tongue and my gums and in my mouth, and I can't eat, I can't drink, I can hardly talk. I found out that I had something called trench mouth, basically from drinking unsanitary water. This isn't what Woodstock was supposed to be. We thought it was going to be this beautiful thing. We packed up our shit, and I think by like 1 in the afternoon, we were out of there.
A lot of people leaving. Everybody is tired, wore out, totally just incapacitated.
Hey, Carson here, right outside Woodstock 99, and the concert's not quite over. And as you can see, there's a steady stream of cars and people and tow trucks making their way out of the concert. Where are you guys going? The show's not over yet.
Leaving.
Why?
It stinks in there.
Hey, Bernie. We're exhausted, man. The heat just totally drove us to the ground.
Road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Life, I love this big music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again.
So by Sunday, people were fed up. I don't think anybody had any money left over. And then the price gouging on top of that was ridiculous. A lot of the vendors were out of stock, so the few that seemed to be left could charge whatever they wanted.
Everything's ridiculously overpriced, but you paid everywhere else. You gotta do more stock.
You know, it went from $4 or $5 for a bottle of water to, I want to say, $12 a bottle of water by the third day.
There was just that negative energy that was really starting to run through the crowd on Sunday. The only thing anyone had a sense of optimism about was that there was a rumor that had been going around for a couple of days that there was going to be some special end of Woodstock event.
You confirmed the closing act. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are the official act that are going to close on Sunday night, and we're still cooking up a little something for the end that's going to stay a surprise for the time being.
That was the chatter, that like somebody's coming on after the Chili Peppers. And I remember asking around, and the big rumor was that Prince was going to play.
I heard Guns N' Roses was coming out of retirement, apparently.
Even the staff in the office had theories about who was going to turn up.
Rumors about Dylan. A rumors about Dylan's coming?
You know, the Grateful Dead, the Rolling Stones, we had heard rumblings of Michael Jackson.
It was a good reason to kind of hang on till the bitter end.
So
Sunday in the afternoon, the crowds were pretty jumped up. So we tried to stay reasonably mellow, and Jewel fit that slot just perfectly.
Here we are at Woodstock, everyone.
Being backstage was reading the crowd, trying to figure out what the set list might be like.
This is 13 songs.
Going, all right, what combination of things on Earth possibly can begin to attempt to try and get people to focus?
Okay, to tell you about the bed. Well, everyone said, I'll take it. The show will end. Totally felt it. So anyway, don't take it personally.
We get back to the barricade, and I think by that point I was close to like my breaking point, just looking for the moment we could get back on the bus and go back home. By the time Jewel came on, the tone had definitely changed.
The environment was starting to really shift, and it was hard to put your finger on, but it felt like a crowd that could turn at any time. There's a real unpredictable, weird energy.
いや、ていうか、なんか今っぽい。女性の悩み。
Things are going south, and we need to get out of here. We just went straight to the bus right behind the stage. You know, you were just like, whoa, you know, that was different. And we left.
There was definitely a palpable sense of anger. And it wasn't just the overstimulated testosterone young males at this point. I think everybody was pissed off.
The kids are getting agitated. They had about had it with the trash, with the heat, with the expenses, and they're going to do something about it.
Entrance to the gates of hell.
In today's world, we would be tearing this festival apart on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, but that didn't exist back then. There was nothing else the kids could do besides turn on the staff and the venue.
They're tearing the wall down, man. This is unfreaking real. Tear down, bring it all down. This is fucking history, folks. This is history.
They had enough. The kids had had enough.
You know, there were some naysayers out there, and they said that we couldn't handle the traffic, and we did. And they said that the security wouldn't work, and it did. And now some of them are saying we can't clean it up, and we will.
Sunday night was a great press conference. I don't know if you can get hold of the footage or not. This was fabulous. These kids are great. It's unbelievable. Perfect.
We're happy. All is well. We haven't had any tough incidents. I guess, sir, are you aware that parts of the wall has been torn down now?
I think the exterior wall just makes an amazing souvenir, and people just couldn't resist it. They were breaking it up into small pieces, I guess, just to have a piece of Woodstock.
I saw what was going on. I had spoken to enough people. I knew that they were full of shit.
There are, we estimate anyway, about 150,000 people still on site that are having a good time.
The mayor was there. They're slapping each other on the back.
I was feeling phenomenal at that point. We were declaring a premature success.
I think it's been a memorable, exciting concert for all those involved and all those who covered it, the community as a whole. So,
and I remember one question said, well, how do you feel like? So it's done. You got it done. I said, not yet. You got 3 more hours.
I'm so confident that things will go well. I'd like to, at this point in time, Michael, to extend an invitation to come back to our area again. We'd be more than happy to host you and rock and roll in Central New York.
All these, officials just couldn't wait to invite us back. It was the most amazing event.
Thanks, you guys have been great for the most part, and we really appreciate it.
I walked out of there feeling just great.
Woodstock 99, there's a storm coming.
Michael and John are optimists. So for them, it was kind of, it's all positive. But, we were all on edge because we'd seen the face of a disaster the night before. But the show was going to go on, so we hoped for the best and that calmer heads would prevail.
We're about to get out of here. The finish line is in sight. We just got to get through the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Flea is butt-ass naked. And if I remember correctly, very many people in the audience were also butt-ass naked.
All over the world, we can make coffee.
Chili Peppers, it was kind of a blur. It almost felt like you went to war by that point. It was like, oh man, we've been through the ringer.
So Sunday night, I'm in the production office. Red Hot Chili Peppers was still performing. We had done collectively probably 4 hours of sleep, so we were exhausted.
All just passed out. Worked too hard for too long.
I'm exhausted, and I'm in my office with all the radios.
All of a sudden, I hear the producer's channel, and that's the channel with Michael Lang, John Scherer.
Everybody on stage, do you copy?
And they're going to hand out 100,000 candles.
Oh, man. Wow.
My boss and I looked at each other and just like,
Yeah, Michael's the candle guy. All right, Michael's the candle guy. I mean, I knew very little about it.
So we planned for this candle vigil to occur toward the end of the Chili Peppers set.
Columbine had just happened a few months before the issue of gun violence was really starting to come to focus in American society. And there was this thought that anti-gun violence could be our cause.
The idea was that we would light up the night at the end, culmination of the festival, with these candles, and that was going to be a big visual demonstration of this generation speaking out about gun violence.
I knew nothing about plans for candlelit vigil. Immediately, I started screaming into the radio, "You can't do this. It's not approved by the fire marshal."
I don't know what's going on up there, Candy.
And John Scherer just tells me to shut up and get off the channel.
Villages are calm. Everything's okay. Don't worry about it.
The joke was you were taking everybody's flammable items for days, and now you're going to do the total opposite and ask people to light candles up.
So I'm standing on the side of the stage, like, Flea's Naked Bud is 10 feet away from me, like literally 10 feet away from me. They started playing Under the Bridge. Then all of a sudden, there's just a vast sea of candles. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. The light spread through the whole crowd of hundreds of thousands of people.
And it was very original Woodstock. It was supposed to be a peaceful, like happy thing, bringing everybody together. But that's not out there now.
To give flames to an audience that is 3 days into being treated like animals. It was not a very smart decision.
I saw off in the distance what looked like a fire. We turned to each other and it's like, well, this isn't good.
I'm on the side of the stage. I was very concerned. First of all, I was afraid somebody was going to get hurt. Secondly, I knew this was going to be, a newsworthy issue.
All right, welcome back to 1515 Live.
Fire has broken out over here by the main stage. The concert was stopped moments ago. Kevin knows what's happening here. It's been a festival of extremes all the way from day one.
It was this main fire that was my concern. Things like that go uncontrolled can lead to more chaos.
We had a fire department on site. Michael hopped off the stage to go to the firehouse. I decided to go on stage.
It's not part of the show. It really is a problem. So the fire department's going to have to come in with a fire truck to put the fire out. Everybody to pull up.
Michael radioed me and, said they won't go out. They're scared.
I couldn't believe that these guys were not willing to go out. I mean, I told them I'd go out with them.
Basically tell them to go fuck themselves. This is your job. There's a fire there. Go out there and put the fire out.
I then have a conversation backstage with Anthony Kiedis. I said to him, "We need you to be helpful to quell the crowd." But his response was, "They're not going to listen to me. I don't have anything I can say to add to this."
Holy shit, it's Apocalypse Now.
The first song he played on the encore was a tribute to Jimi Hendrix, Fire.
As the Chili Peppers are playing, you start to see more of these fires start to pop up. Then another one pops up, and then another one.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers finished their set, and everyone was anticipating like some type of special artist.
We were like super excited.
But boom, the show's over. So you now have all these pent-up people with all this energy and disappointed.
The only thing that they did is they showed Jimi Hendrix up on the big video screens. I think that was like the final match on the gasoline pyre that just set everyone off.
The crowd certainly took it as a signal to go and just burn down the place.
Anything that they could get their hands on, they were throwing into the fire.
It was scary because I could see people becoming infected with this angry mob mentality where people that would never do this in their normal everyday life, they just went with it and gave their all into mass destruction, and it just spread like wildfire.
The sky turned orange. There was fires everywhere. Everywhere you looked, there was fires. And it was just mayhem after that.
Plays while Rome burns.
Oh my God. I don't know if you can see behind us. The sky is kind of orange, lots of smoke. It's crazy out there.
It felt like panic. And I remember seeing PAs coming out of the production trailer and just throwing the monitors and the towers into like a 15-passenger van. It kind of felt like the fall of Hanoi or something.
We are going to get out of here. Yes. I think we're going to go.
It's time to go.
It's getting pretty intense.
They were like, we're done, we're out. And they loaded us onto the bus. There was probably much more to be covered, but they were like, we're not risking it. We're not going to risk your safety or anybody else's. We're out of here.
Woodstock 99, goodbye and maybe good riddance.
We were on one of the roads that leave the festival on site. Just go a little further. I was looking out the window, and we start to see as we're driving. Holy shit! Oh, dude, I'm like, shit, something's gonna happen here, and we need to get this. I was out of the car like Dukes of Hazzard.
We're moving in. We got fires everywhere. Look at this. We're getting closer now.
We started running towards the action. Everybody else is coming out. We're trying to get back in. I didn't know what was going to transpire.
Look at this. Things are just getting out of control.
What the hell happened?
This is just fucking, I don't know, Lord of Flies, man, I guess.
People pushing the tower.
It is very clear that they're trying to tear down this tower.
I think the tower is about to fall.
You can start hearing it creak.
Oh my God.
There were people hanging from the speaker towers. It was like Planet of the Apes.
Once you become part of our herd, you become like animals. And all of these people were acting like animals.
They're all about making money off us, and we're pissed.
Just stop fucking around in the 90s.
We were monitoring from the air traffic control tower. At this point, it was an emergency. I expected deaths. People trampled or assaulted and killed. Lives were at stake.
We started getting calls over the radio from the production office saying, be prepared for the worst, get ready to batten down the hatches. This unruly mob of kids got bored with dancing around the bonfires in front of the East Stage and decided to extend their carnage and rage to the rest of the festival grounds, which unfortunately put our vendor village right in their path. So as we started hearing more and more frantic calls over the radios, my team and I went around to the two big vendor tents. Some of them had $60,000, $70,000 worth of cash on them.
How you guys doing? You guys all right over here?
We told all the vendors to shut out their lights and pull down their tent flaps in front of their stalls and to lay low that we were shutting down the vendor village. And of course, trying to do this as calmly as possible to not spread any sense of panic or fear, whereas inside I was crapping myself. We started hearing sort of a chanting noise, and it looked like a black cloud was rolling down the tarmac towards us. There was a giant mob. They were singing Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Holy shit.
At this point, it's kind of just like anarchy and chaos and mob mentality. People are just grabbing these boxes of CDs. Obviously, I'm gonna go in there like everyone else is doing it.
In the middle of our vendor tents, we had a bank of 6 ATM machines somebody in the crowd spotted it, and it was like a record scratch. Someone screamed out, ATMs, and immediately the whole crowd charged.
Oh my God.
At that point, anything that was Woodstock related was on these people's destroy list.
Pretty much anyone who had a laminate or anyone we knew was showing up and wanting to hide in the office.
My 4 radios were just going off like crazy. One of the guys that worked in our office just got to the main doors and just started barricading them. Everyone's wondering how the fuck is this going to end?
I remember hearing like an explosion.
Some trailers are on fire down there. We saw that there were like trailers on fire, so we're like, oh, we gotta go get that. So we're running over.
There was a row of trucks, and each truck had like a gas tank or a propane tank as part of it.
We're like front and center with this. I'm like, this is it. Then all of a sudden, holy shit. Boom. I'm like, whoa.
Boom. It was like a bomb going off in the middle of the festival grounds. And another bomb goes off. Fuck. This is not good. It's like the walls of Jericho had fallen, right? That was the moment where we said, okay, we need to get out.
I just hear an explosion. And people just running like for real this time. Next thing I know, boom, get billy clubbed right in the stomach. And I look up and it's a dude with a mask on.
I mean, they were like stormtroopers in a row with the big giant batons and the shields. I'm like, oh shit.
Michael was never going to show his alarm. I'm sure he was very alarmed at what was going on. I just followed him out and imagined he was going to check on what was going on with the National Guard.
I went out into the middle of it just to get a feel for it. I thought it was a terrible ending for a decent weekend. And I thought, this is going to be a huge cleanup.
So he walked into our vendor village, and I hadn't seen him at all in the weeks that we've been up there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you're Michael Lang, I'm Colin Spear, and this is, I've always wanted to meet you. But he just walked around the remains, and that was it. He didn't address us, much at all about, like, you guys okay? It didn't really seem like he gave that much of a shit.
It was disappointing that it ended that way. Very. But that's what it was. Go on.
It was kind of sad. It was just, like, it really felt like, this is it. Like, there is never going to be another Woodstock after this.
Michael.
Go away.
It's the most peaceful way to deal with it. Great.
I think that was kind of like, that was the end.
"6:30 in the morning." Pilar goes, Mom, you gotta see this. And we get in her car and we drive around.
Oh my Lord.
It looked like a war zone. Trash and smoking fires everywhere.
And we come upon the 12 semi-tractor trailers. And I said, Pilar, that was Woodstock 99, burnt to the ground.
And we have Duke Devlin, who's been with the festival since '69. How are you doing this morning?
It was ugly to see Bob and a lot of stuff here. And this is all over and done. I think Woodstock is done. It's just it. I can't say too much.
Monday morning, shit was blown up everywhere. So there was news camera crews. And because there were no cell phones, like, we knew our parents would be bugging out because they had seen shit went down.
There was riots and it was a mess. We saw a lot of people blowing stuff up and bonfires, people jumping over bonfires and throwing stuff. And it was wild. There was a lot of crazy people.
And if there's another Woodstock, would you come again?
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure. No questions asked.
It sounds ridiculous, but although I had kind of a scary experience, it was a blast. I saw the bands that, I loved. It was an experience of a lifetime.
It was the best time I've ever had, and 22 years later, and it's still probably the best time I ever had. There were no rules. I could just kind of do whatever I want, complete anarchy. It felt like it had the time of my life. In that moment, it was like, wow, it's like I'm glad I got to experience that. What a story. What a ride.
It was complete freedom with no responsibility, and that felt like a dangerous combination. We were all pretty much expecting just to wrap our stuff up, feed whoever we had to feed, write the stories we had to write, and then this happened. The entire planet now knew that it became a total and complete shit show. The images were everywhere.
Woodstock 99, a weekend of rock and roll in upstate New York.
Sour last night. Fans attacked tents, concert equipment, and food trailers.
Woodstock 99 s'achève ainsi dans un nuage de fumée.
Vending stalls were looted and light towers toppled.
We went into the office the next day, and we had all these non-disclosure agreements that we had to sign. Nobody was allowed to speak to the media after that.
Okay, what started out as Peace, Love, and Music Festival ended in a riot at Woodstock 99.
What is anybody going to tell you that's worse than what people saw?
Everybody had their own theories as to what happened and why. The rumors were circulating like wildfire.
I often wonder, did the producers get all the way until Sunday and say, all we've really had here is a big, fairly well-controlled rock festival. We didn't have a Woodstock. And then all of a sudden, these things happen Sunday night to make it a Woodstock pandemonium, possibly to enhance sales of the merchandising that goes on after the event.
It's absurd. It's absurd. I mean, it's just not true, you know?
In the interest of keeping this press conference in this millennium,
On Monday morning, I called the final press conference.
our promoter, Michael Lang.
There was not supposed to be a press conference Monday morning, obviously. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The Woodstock brand was in serious trouble.
I was out in it till 5:30 this morning. I saw a very small group of people. They went from place to place, setting fires, inciting people. But I certainly would not condemn this crowd for the fuck up of excuse the language, of a few assholes.
Essentially, they took zero responsibility. Their take was, this was just a few bad apples. Anybody with eyes who saw the footage knows that there were thousands of kids looting, rioting, doing property damage, setting fires. Rome burned.
But the real issue wasn't who was rioting, right? The question was, why were they rioting?
I think it's just a cultural thing. I think there are some anarchists among us always, and some are a little bit more strident than others, and we just have to get some of the more strident ones.
You know, I don't think it was about issues. I think it was just about energy. They were so amped up from the weekend that they just weren't ready to stop. You know, they wanted more of anything, more of the experience. And I think it was that, just they weren't ready to put it to bed.
They're the lunatic fringe. That segment of the population was both entitled and fearful of growing up, of having to have a real job and, you know, have a family and stuff like that. And they had lots of angst, lots and lots of angst.
What do you sum up went wrong with this festival? I could say it in one word, greed. The user experience was totally thrown out the window. I mean, these kids were taken advantage of.
They treated people like dogs once they got their money. Dogs.
The riots were the culmination of everybody being angry over the prices, and it was hot, and we smelled, and we were tired and hungover. And I think that people had had enough, and they gave in to, you know, their worst nature.
That press conference just left a bad taste in my mouth and everybody else who was there too.
Saying goodbye to Woodstock 99. Good riddance, you piece of shit.
But then things got even worse.
So after the festival, when I got back into the office, I started getting phone calls. A hysterical mother talking about how her daughter had been raped.
New York State Police are reportedly investigating allegations that 4 women were raped at last weekend's Woodstock Music Festival. The Washington Post reports today that detectives are looking into the rape reports and that crisis intervention workers say they witnessed many more sexual assaults, some right in front of the stage.
In the aftermath, all the stories that I've heard of women being molested, even raped, given the climate of the guys there, I'm not surprised by it. You know, it's like this pervasive entitlement. We see that with race. We see that with sexism. We see that with classism. It's that idea that I'm better than you, so I can subject you to anything, and you got to take it. Back then, you were supposed to just deal with what you had to deal with and suck it up.
So I didn't hear about any of the allegations for rape or attacks on women until after the festival was over, and the way women were treated was really horrible. I thought we were responsible for everybody on site, and so we bear a responsibility for, you know, what happened to the women. But it happened in secret. It happened in tents, and somebody said it happened in the mosh pit. I can't even imagine that.
Woodstock was actually like a small city, you know? all things considered, I'd say that there would probably be as many or more rapes in any size city of that. I'm not condoning it. It was wrong. It was horrible. I wish we caught everybody. I put them all in jail. But considering there were 200,000 people there, it wasn't something that gained enough momentum so that it caused any on-site issues, other than, of course, to the women it happened to.
That's bullshit. Woodstock 99 did not have enough proper security. They tried to cheap out on it.
As a promoter, if you're going to put on an event, your first responsibility is the safety of the crowd. But they were completely unprepared. It was like, let's just get 250,000 people together and let's see what happens. For anyone to get hurt, there's no excuse for that. The girl should be able to fucking have fun just like a guy.
Movements like Me Too really evolved as a direct response to the kind of horrible behaviors we saw at Woodstock 99.
You know, a lot of people complain about woke culture, but looking back, I'm glad that we don't accept what happened anymore. In 99, we were the kids, but we're the adults now. We're the parents now. I'm glad that my daughters will never have to walk around and see that and think that it's just the way it is.
It's like we learned who we don't want to be. And we've put in place boundaries and things that will prevent us from devolving back into that madness.
The way Woodstock 99 sort of sits in my memory is a lost opportunity. I think in the 90s, kids were in a different headspace. They were there for the music. I don't think they were able to embrace the social issues of the day. And there was an element that just was, you know, they were assholes in the crowd. You can't bet the people who buy your tickets. You just can't.
でも絶対に客呼べるスターって誰だろうね。
was its own thing and its own kind of magic.
なんかさゆりさんだけじゃん。
Did 99 damage that?
なんかさゆりさんだけ。さゆりストが来るから。
Okay. Thank you.
ウッドストックの次回開催は予定されていない。うわ